Good morning, friends. This is James chapter 1, verse 5. I know I said I tried to do one show a month, but I got an overwhelming amount. It's not even of questions, of one particular question, and I felt it had to be, if obviously these many people have the same question this many times, it's that important that I go ahead and address it right now. The question, of course, as you saw, is, must Christians attend church? Now, this is a somewhat complicated question. See, to my knowledge, I'm not familiar with anywhere in the Bible where it talks about rugged Lone Ranger Christians, where I know it's in human nature to want to feel independent. You know, it's God and I against the whole world. But in reality, God calls us to be a community, calls us to be a family. We're to be a body which Christ is the head. That is the definition of what the church is supposed to be. So to say, I'm going to be a Christian, but I'm going to do it all on my own, just God and I, it's going to make your walk so difficult it's practically impossible. You need to have other people there to support you, to hold you accountable, and in many ways to teach you, because each one of us have our own perspective. Each one of us has our own ideas, our way of looking at things. Because somebody else will talk to us, and they'll say something that maybe you had never thought of before. It never would have occurred to you, because they have a different perspective than your own, and that's how we learn. Now, I have quite a few different verses here to back me up on this one. I won't read through all of them, but just to give you an idea of some of them that you can look up yourself. Ephesians chapter 3, verses 4 through 15, pretty much all of Acts chapter 2, Hebrews 10:25, which I will read this one to you. It says, "Let us not give up meeting together as some are in the habit of doing, but instead let us encourage one another, and all the more as you see the day approaching." In other words, we should meet together as often as possible. It's true that church usually takes place on Sundays, but to say, oh, I go to church on Sunday morning and then the rest of the week that's it. One of my favorite things I've been told, on Sunday we go to church, and on the rest of the week we are the church. Now, that doesn't mean that if you attend a church or you're a member of a church, that's enough to make you a Christian. That's enough to get you saved. That's enough for salvation. There's more to it than that. To say, I go to church, therefore I'm a Christian, is like saying, I went into a garage yesterday, so now I must be a car. Or, I went to McDonald's last night, so clearly I'm a Big Mac. It's a bit absurd. So going to church is important, but that's not as far as it goes. Simply attending a building is not important. Attending a service is in itself not important. It's in having a community of other believers to fellowship with, to learn from, and to grow with. I hope this has cleared up any confusion there might have been on that issue. If you have further questions about this subject or about faith or the Bible or anything like that, go ahead and email it to me at James chapter 1 verse 5 at live.com. I want to thank you for inviting me here on your YouTube screen, and as always, God bless.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go!